Jen here, and I have a layout for you for the Everyday Inspiration series. This is a series that Christy, Crystal, Daisy, Dolly, Lisa, and myself do every month, where one of us takes a picture of our everyday lives, and then we all use that picture to inspire a layout. So today's picture that you can see up in the corner is from Dolly. It's some ice cream that she got at Baskin Robbins. I think she said it's her favorite flavor, and it's raspberry swirl with chocolate pieces in it. So delicious. So I'm gonna go with that raspberry theme and do a pretty pink monochromatic layout here. I'm starting with some watercolors that I just smushed down and then splattered. That paint palette, I've gotten a couple questions. It is a Jane Davenport palette, and then I also have the Prima. I think they were called Tropical. Yeah, I think it was the Tropical Prima colors that I had, and I just mixed them all together. So I don't quite remember which ones were, well, actually I think I probably do. The ones that are in the palette on both sides are the ones from Jane, and then the ones going down the center I added from Prima, but I might have mixed a couple of them up, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, that is where I got that paint palette full of super bright fun colors. So I went and picked out the like fun hot pink color to smush down, and then a red, a kind of pinky red to splatter, and that kind of gives me my raspberry swirl colors in my background. And then I also have a picture of my nieces and my nephew and my 3 kids all eating an ice cream one day at the mall. We went shopping with my mom and got them all ice cream, and so we had rented that stroller that you can see, that kind of fire truck stroller, because a couple of my brother's kids were still pretty young, and while they were eating their ice cream, I just kind of stuck all of them onto that stroller so that we could kind of contain the drippy ice cream mess and not have it spread all over the mall. We didn't push them around like that, but it would have been kind of cute if we had. It was too heavy to push with all of them on there. Yeah, so I thought that was a kind of cute picture, and it has the ice cream in it, and it doesn't really, I guess the red doesn't really match with pink, but that's okay. I just wanted to have some fun. So while I was going through all of the stuff that I had in my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit from, I'm using May's kit, but some of April's stuff is in there too because it's all kind of in the same iris container. I was kind of going through looking to see if I had any fun kind of ice creamy things. And I remembered that I had this stamp set from Stampin' Up. It's several years old now, and I never really used it. I think when I pulled it out, there might have been maybe one of the stamps that I actually used. And I thought it would be kind of fun just to play around with it and see what I could do with it. So the first thing I decided to do is here, just kind of do like a really tone-on-tone little ice cream stamping in the background. I knew that a lot of this would kind of get covered up or you wouldn't really be able to see it, but I just thought it was kind of fun to add those little ice creams to the background, and it let me kind of play with the stamps before I figured out if there was anything else I wanted to do with them. And it's actually a pretty fun stamp set. It lets you do kind of that traditional scooped ice cream or a soft serve ice cream, and there's the traditional cone or more of a waffle cone, and then there's little stamps where you can add like chocolate syrup or toppings or that kind of thing, and then there's also popsicles. So it's kind of just a fun, versatile stamp set that I really don't use enough, and I think it was kind of fun just to pull it out. And this is very different for me, doing stamping like this on the background of a layout. That's not normally something I do unless it's maybe like a border around the edge or something like that. So I kind of had fun with that, and I kept it out because I want to use it a little bit more and just see what else I can do with it. This would make great birthday invitations and all that kind of stuff too, so I don't want to forget about it. So after I put that down, I decided I wanted to see if I could replicate what I did for the balloons in a previous layout that I did that was posted last week. I kind of made these fun balloons, and I thought I could probably pull off the same look with my ice creams. So here I've done 2 of them, and or no, I think I only did 2. Yeah, I already did 1, so I'm going to show you how I'm doing this other one. So I stamped the ice cream background, and now I'm just taking some little foam dots. I picked these foam dots because I could cut them in half and make them really teeny tiny to kind of go around all of those edges. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to cover it up, but I just felt like this gave me the most flexibility to kind of go around the little scalloped bottom of this particular ice cream scoop. You can see the top one is supposed to look like the soft serve, and that one was a little bit easier to go around, but whatever you have that works. You could even do several layers of this same stamp and cut them out to build up a little space if you didn't have foam that worked. So I went ahead and put the foam all around it, and then here I'm using my little BB Craft pearls. I have some pink ones and some white ones to kind of again represent that raspberry swirl, and then just a piece of plastic packaging, just something that was a little bit thicker than like a normal packaging. I think it might have just been, I can't even remember what it came from. And then I stamped the ice cream a second time, and you saw me there just kind of cut out that center, and that's what I'm going to put on top of the packaging to cover up where my little foam pieces are. And then there I have a really cute little ice cream shaker pocket. So I let those dry, I let my background completely dry, and I went through my kit and went through some of my little iris containers with embellishments and stuff and just looked for all the pink things. So I found that little pocket, and I found these cute little pink doilies. I was trying to figure out what I can do because it's so hard for me to not have anything kind of on the edges, on the outside of my layout. One day I'm just going to do a layout where all I have is something in the very center and nothing around the outside, but I find that so hard. And so I really just wanted to have something in these corners, or I didn't really have a plan, but just as I was looking, I was kind of consciously thinking about something that could work just on the outside of that layout. So I pulled out these little doilies and thought they could kind of work. And doilies do kind of go with ice cream, I think, because if you get at some places when you go to ice cream parlors, they sometimes will have like a napkin or a doily on the cone for you. So I thought that kind of worked with the theme of the ice cream. And then it kind of just gave me that feeling of having something on that edge. And so I cut that those two sides off. I kind of let them run off the corner, and then I thought I could just place the cutoffs right there, and that just helps to create some layers behind my picture. And then here, these are just random pieces of ephemera. I have some really, really old ephemera, some really old crepe paper, and Maggie Holmes, and some really old My Mind's Eye and stuff like that. And so it's all kind of thrown into a couple of iris containers basically by color. So I just went into my pink one and pulled things out. So I apologize that I can't tell you exactly where they came from, but it's from my pink iris container. So I'm just going to kind of layer up a few things. I found a couple of really fun flare pieces. Now these are actual pins with a pin backing on them. They came from Michael's, and I don't think it was last summer, but the summer before, this was kind of their the theme for all of their collections that they put out were ice cream, and there was like pizza and french fries and stuff. So they had a couple different sets of pins that you could get. I think maybe 4 different sets. Oh, my hubby just gave me a White Claw. Thank you. I think they had 4. They could have had more, but I think I bought 4 different sets of these pins. And so 2 of them were kind of ice cream and popsicle themed, and 2 of them were more of the french fries and pizza themes. So I pulled out some of those, and just happens that there were several pink ones. So I had lots to choose from. And then I have that little kawaii ice cream cone from Walmart. That's from Laura DIY. She had a collection of like back to school kind of stuff. And I thought that ice cream was really cute. And it was also pink, so I threw that in there. And I have a pink arrow clip kind of pointing down, filling up a little bit of that space in that top corner. There was kind of some white space, and there's people and stores there, so I was filling some of that up. And then just a few tags and things. I think that the tag I just put down that says remember this, and the one in the bottom that says hey you, and actually maybe even the one up in the top that says stay wild, I think those all might come from the All Heart collection from Crepe Paper. I also put an ice cream cone clip, like paper clip, in the top and bottom corners as well. And now I'm just going to put my little shaker pocket ice cream cones, and I did I stamped them out a couple of times, but I didn't make shaker pockets out of everything that I stamped, but I am going to put just kind of the flat ice cream cone there too. I wanted to stamp it out a couple times to see about the ink and kind of how they stamped, and I just didn't want them to go to waste, so I cut out a couple extra ones. But I love my shaker pockets. I think they're so cute, and I do like that they gave a little bit of dimension to my clusters, and I just like the kind of shimmer and different texture of the pearls inside. And then I have that extra little clip, and so I tried to pull the actual pin out, and it was really hard to do because it's so small. So I'm just using these foam dots to kind of nestle the actual sharp pin in place, and then I'm using a glue dot to really hold it down nice and secure. I don't think that the foam dots would have held it down because they're almost level with the kind of the way the pin is in the back, so I just added that extra little bit of security to keep them on there. And then I added a couple little bows. I was just going for that kind of darker, bold pink to contrast a little bit with all those really light colors. So I went ahead and added that. I added my title, Love. That was actually kind of just sitting there on standby waiting to be used. I had it pulled out for a layout that I wanted to do in February and just never ended up using it on the layout, so it was stuck to the bowl that I used for my sequins right above me. And so when I pulled out these sequins, it was there just begging to be used. And I think it's a cute title, Love. It's pretty simple, but look at all those cute faces full of ice cream. What's not to love, right? And so I'm scattering a bunch of sequins. I used some red ones to kind of look like cherries on top of the 2 of the ice cream cones, and then some kind of bright, fun pink ones all scattered throughout the mixed media that I did. And just a little bit of journaling. It doesn't have to be too much. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a bunch of kiddos eating ice cream. And so I thought I was done, and then I remembered that I put that little envelope, or whatever you want to call it, little glassine bag, as part of my embellishment layers, and I wanted to put a tag inside it. And I haven't done this yet, but I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and do a little bit of journaling, maybe just about how much I love that we get to spend so much time with my nieces and nephews, and that all the cousins are really close and that kind of thing. So that'll get done eventually. And so because I put some twine into that tag, I also put some twine into the other two tags that are on the layout, and it is all done. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. All the links are down below, so you can check out Christy, Crystal, Daisie, Dolly, and Lisa. And if you have any questions, you can leave them for me down below as well. Until next time, happy scrapping. Stay safe. Bye.